Well, I don't know if you heard or not, but Conklin has been upgrading or updating its Omniflex nib. And so I ordered this pen. This is the new Turquoise Serenity pen, which it actually is like there's a Turquoise Nights pen. It's a Turquoise Nights Durograph. And the material is much like this, but this is the All American using that same material, and it's gorgeous because I fell in love with the turquoise material before, and when I saw that the All American was gonna have this as well, I was pretty excited. I do, out of all the Conklins, my favorite is the All American, and I collect those big time because it's a nice classic, beautiful pen. So yeah, JoWo has been making the new Omniflex nibs for Conklin. So it's not a limited edition. This should be part of the regular lineup. Let's go ahead and take a look. So it comes in a blue box with a blue outer sleeve. So you have the very nice Conklin clamshell box with the Conklin logo on the front. So open it up and there's your pen. And there it is. Here it is. It does come with some literature, basically saying, check it out. Omniflex has 3 finishes now. But guess what? Congratulations. You got your pen. And by the way, it's got a limited lifetime warranty. All right. So if anything goes wrong, call them up and they'll take care of you. Did I not tell you that that was gorgeous? I mean, yeah, it's pretty, right? I love the All American pen shape. It's a nice big pen. It has all the cool Conklin attributes, including the rocker clip, which is super nice. And let's look at that nib, because this is the whole reason why I bought the pen, was to try out this new nib. So that's the new JoWo Omniflex Conklin nib. And here's the feed right there. So it says Omniflex right down the center, and then it has that typical JoWo swirls or scrolls along the sides. And so it has these 2 little cutouts here on either side of the nib in order to allow you to do that nice flexible writing. Now, I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with the old Omniflex nibs. This is actually the third replacement for this nib series. The first one had a problem. It had a problem with the ink flow. You would write with it, and it's like after like 5 words, it would railroad on you, and you would have to, go back in here, prime the nib, keep writing it. At least that's what I was doing. I know that would frustrate a lot of people, but I was bent on getting that flex writing going on. So the second nib came out, and I think it was by yet another manufacturer of these nib parts. And it was still kind of the same thing. It did seem to perform a little bit better. The ink flow had improved somewhat, but it just still wasn't quite there. So I'm really, really hoping that with the JoWo Omniflex nib, there'll be a better experience, better ink flow, and that everybody would be happy. JoWo has a really good reputation, smooth writers, hardly any railroading, but this is an Omniflex, so the whole point is to try to flex the nib. Does it post? It does post, actually, but it makes it a way bigger pen. And this actually is great. Like if you have bigger hands, it's terrific. It's a great fit. I personally like to write with my All Americans, not posted. And that's, for me, it's just a lot of pen. And this on the back, it tends to make it a little bit heavier, although it's balanced. The weight is balanced. It's not like really crazy bad. And I know what you're asking yourself right now regarding this step. It doesn't bother me. I don't know if it bothers any of the other users of these Conklin All American pens, but personally, I've never had a problem with them whatsoever. Now, the great thing about Conklin pens is that they do come with a converter. So you don't have to go buy one, which some brands you do, and that's a real pain in the butt. But this one you don't. So far I'm liking what I see. And so my fingers are crossed that the flex nib is gonna be flexy. Yeah. Well, the next thing to do is to ink this pen up. Let's see how that Omniflex nib performs. Thank you for joining me for this look at the Conklin All American and Turquoise Serenity, and for taking a look at the new Omniflex nib. I think they might have gotten it right this time. Now, I will admit that I do have to press a little harder, and that's because it's a steel nib. But to get it to flex, I have to push down a little harder, and maybe after a few uses, it'll get, break in or whatever. But the one thing that is super important about this Omniflex nib and this whole thing is that it works. Yeah, I had no hard starts. I did not have to keep priming the nib, which is awesome. And it wrote really nice and smooth, even with regular handwriting. So I'm gonna go out and say, the new Omniflex nib, I'm gonna vote yes. I think people will finally be happy about it. So I encourage you to go out there and try it out. Even if you need to just get the nib and replace some of the nibs from the other pens you have, might be a maybe less expensive alternative. So once your favorite pen retailers start to put out that new Omniflex pen, you might want to consider replacing your other Omniflex flex nibs. So, all right, well, cool. Hold on a second. Let me call Yair Greenberg real quick. Yeah, dude, it's Vanessa. Yeah, Pen Gangsta. You got it right. It works. I'm happy. Yes, thank you. All right, you take care. Talk to you later. Bye. Gotta let him know he's doing a good job, right? Well, that's all I've got. And that's how the ink flows.